they're a tough group. They're resilient. They're fighters. They're winners. That's one thing we preach every day in practice with these guys. They played in a great conference last year. They were 11-14, but they're a winning basketball team. They stand for all the right things. They show up every day. They're just such a pleasure to coach, and to see them, have this opportunity in a packed house for their home opener on a Friday night. I couldn't be more proud of their toughness and their resiliency tonight to get that win. Yeah, no, I told my guys in the locker room, just now before I came up, I played Division III basketball. My brother's been a Division III head coach for a lot of years. I've been around Division III programs and players for a long time. He's the best player I've seen at this level by a good margin. I think he's as good as it gets. He's hard to prepare for. The one thing we emphasized in practice yesterday, kind of leading up to today, was we kind of know he's going to get his. If we can limit everything around him, we have a really good chance to win this game. And he had 43 points, but the rest of their team only combined for 32. And really want to just, kind of give a nod here to JoJo. He guarded him most of the game. I think the casual observer will say, well, you guarded him and he had 43. I thought JoJo played terrific defense on him because he made everything he did hard. And I think you saw it there at the end of the overtime. Fatigue started to set in. So with a great player, that's sometimes all you can do. Know he's going to get his, but try to prevent everybody around him from having big games.
Well, we kept our composure for sure towards the end of the game for the most part, but it's really how we prepare. Like, we're confident in each other, like all 20 of us, right? 20 of us on the team. All 20 of us, we're confident in each other, to trust each other to make plays. We have a deep team, so instead of like them where they kind of played the same guys like over and over again, they were tired. We had a lot of players that got back in the game, got out the game, so fatigue definitely set in for that matter. So definitely because we have a lot of players and we have a deep team, so we trust each other enough to be able to unleash those guys. It gives me every game, I know, like Coach says, if you're not on, there's 19 other guys that are on. If that guy's not on, there's 18 other guys that's on. So we can trust each other to step up, have a big game, just as people did, as you saw with the scoreboard and how people scored. So definitely having trust in everyone to step up. Well, I definitely took a couple of bad threes and a couple more threes than I should have, but it's just knowing that, like, I'm a better driver than I am a shooter, so that's my strength. I got to go to it every time, and I know that there's a lot of shooters on the team, so I have to do that. Like, I know that's kind of like my role on the team, to do that and be aggressive and get to the free throw line and get guys open. So just penetrating and being a playmaker rather than just a spot-up shooter.
I just think players make plays. Too often I think coaches get the credit when the team wins and they get the blame when the team loses. At this level, when it's two teams that are pretty, evenly matched, there's very few, things in a game that I'm going to do or say to them that's going to impact the result of the game. I mean, I have a very, very, very resilient group of guys that are hungry to be winners. So when we went down 3, I remember being there in a timeout with them and just, them saying to me, Coach, we're good. Coach, we're good. And that's a really good feeling when your backs are up against the wall, to kind of have guys that trust each other. And, like I said to open, they are winners, and they're determined to be winners. So it feels great, but I feel, like I said the other night on Tuesday, I got my first head coaching win at Pratt, but this is not about me. It never is. It never will be for me. It's about my players. For them, I'm thrilled that they were able to come out here for their home opener in a tournament like this, the AJ Classic, that, stands for something so big. And like I said, on a Friday night, packed house in Kennedy Gymnasium, was just so happy for them. I'll let JoJo follow up, but I'll start. I asked him the other day, do I need to do anything to go, kind of recruit some fans to the game? He said, no, Coach, we're good. I was starting to worry about him a little bit when the ball tipped off. They weren't up there. I don't know if those guys had a different start time, but better late than never. What an atmosphere in this gym. It's a small, tight gym to begin with, and when you pack it out with, loud students, feels great.
At times, it was our first home game, so we knew that it was going to be packed, days going into this game. So we kind of already had that energy going into the game. We were all kind of nervous. I'm a senior, and I kind of was a little jittery in the beginning of the game. Until the ball tipped, but I kind of felt okay, this is going to be a big game. But once the ball goes in the air and the crowd's on your side, it kind of feels good to be in this position and be winning. And then even when you were losing, you don't see anyone leaving the game. You kind of know that they're with you, and you got to kind of step it up a notch for the crowd. So definitely nice having a nice crowd and being home for the first game.
We have shoot around tomorrow. I think it's at 10:30, and we'll be shooting a lot of free throws. I'm confident in these guys. They're typically, really good free throw shooters, but I think a little bit of nerves in the first game. Wanting to win so bad. I think we pulled the string on a few of them, but 15 for 29 at the line. In a game that's this close, we're fortunate to come out of here with a win. So when we started tonight, we talked about this being a really good simulation for an NCAA tournament weekend, where you have to play the two games back to back with limited prep time in between. So for my players, it's real easy. They're just going to go get some rest and rehydrate, take care of their bodies, and then come out here and play tomorrow. For me, I'll watch the tape tonight on Trinity. Try to devise a game plan. It's a different game plan, like I told these guys downstairs, because, at least with Wesley, you kind of know what you're preparing for as far as Cameron, number 11. With Trinity, they're like we are. They're deep. They're balanced. And, it's going to be another handful for us tomorrow. But we're ready.